Museveni is panicking. We have Museveni surrounded from all corners, from Europe up to Kenya. You saw him yesterday fighting with my friend BABU OWINO. Museveni, you are going to face it. When you go to Tanzania, you will face the same problem.
The current president of Uganda, Yoweri Museveni, came yesterday, and I really don't want him to lose his vote for BABA. I really want him to vote for BABA. I respect him as my grandfather. I genuinely respect him. When he came to power, actually the number of years he has served in power are more than my years. And therefore, there is a time and a season for everything.
Museveni is panicking. We have Museveni surrounded from all corners, from Europe up to Kenya. You saw him yesterday fighting with my friend BABU OWINO. Museveni, you are going to face it. When you go to Tanzania, you will face the same problem.
Yes, after General Kaguta Museveni coming out to caution BABU OWINO to leave issues of Ugandan by not sabotaging his government, BABU OWINO was reluctant to reply General Kaguta Museveni. In fact, he did it, I think, a day after, but of course with great humility, because he doesn't want to affect the vote of Raila Amolo Odinga, because we all know that General Kaguta Museveni is a pillar when it comes to looking for the voice, as one of the person who has been the leader of Uganda for the most years. Bobi Wine, the people's president in Uganda, has come out to defend BABU OWINO. In fact, Bobi Wine came out and cautioned General Kaguta Museveni not to scare BABU OWINO, not to scare a young leader in Kenya known as BABU OWINO. So in this episode, I've come to talk about the defense of Bobi Wine for BABU OWINO, and also what it means for regional politics, and most importantly, the study materials we can learn from the politics of our nation. But before I do this, I want to let you know that if you're new to this channel, please subscribe. If geopolitics and economics is what you want, this will be definitely the right channel for you to subscribe to. So if you've been my ardent follower, I did a video when General Kaguta Museveni was attacking BABU OWINO. In fact, in that video, I tried to show you why General Museveni did that on Kenyan soil. He was sending a message to Raila Amolo Odinga to tell BABU OWINO not to work with Bobi Wine when it comes to overthrow of his regime. And today, during a press conference, Bobi Wine, the people's president in Uganda, came out to caution General Kaguta Museveni not to threaten young leaders. In fact, Bobi Wine went as far as telling General Kaguta Museveni that the same will be done across the country, across the continent, even for our immediate neighbors. Okay? And I think Bobi Wine is doing the right thing. For a leader to emerge as strong, first of all, he must have friends outside his jurisdiction, and this is what Bobi Wine is doing, and it's also what Bobi Wine, the emerging leader, is doing. Remember, Bobi Wine and BABU are in the same age bracket, so those youthful leaders holding their hands together, you clearly see where they are going. When you look at Raila Amolo Odinga, the people he was dealing with in youthful years, you would know how he had a lot of connections around the country. From Obasanjo, I think yesterday came out to say that he has known Raila Amolo Odinga for more than 30 years. It means maybe they got in touch, okay, when Raila Amolo Odinga was something like 40. So both BABU OWINO and Bobi Wine, what they are doing is right. So today, Bobi Wine came out in defense of BOBI. And before I expound on this more, let me first give you the tape as Bobi Wine was defending BOBI. Here is the tape.
Museveni is panicking. We have Museveni surrounded from all corners, from Europe up to Kenya. You saw him yesterday fighting with my friend BABU OWINO. Museveni, you are going to face him. When you go to Tanzania, you will face the same problem. You go to America, same problem. Europe, same problem. Why? Because you are wasted. You are used and useless. Free the people. Let them be. How does it feel to you when you came talking about fundamental change and now you're saying no change?
That is Bobi Wine. We all know that Bobi Wine is the forerunner to take the presidency of the country. In fact, Kenya should pray for Uganda because Uganda is under the biggest dictatorship in East Africa. Okay? There's no freedom of speech. There's no political freedom. We have a constitution which is a shell. So Kenya should continue praying for Uganda. But also the defense of Bobi Wine also shows that he's there for his friend BABU OWINO. Okay? And this friendship should continue. Although, I was surprised that BABU OWINO didn't come out ballistically. Because you all know BABU OWINO as a ballistic leader. When he comes out to attack someone, he will attack him with all his heart. But in this case, he was hesitant to attack General Kaguta Museveni back. Because he knows it can compromise the vote of Raila Amolo Odinga in the AU. In fact, when BABU OWINO was replying General Kaguta Museveni, he was so smooth. He said these statements.
And as a leader in Kenya, who has been given a mandate by the Almighty God to serve Kenyans, also has an obligation to extend an olive branch to our neighbors. I'm not only a leader in Kenya, but also a leader in the region. A child in Kenya suffers the same fate as a child in Uganda, as a child in Congo, as a child in South Africa, and any other place within Africa. And therefore, if there is an autocratic government, if there is a kakistocratic government, if there is a government that does not deliver to its citizens, then it is my role as a leader to correct the excesses of that government. There are those leaders who will be very uncomfortable when you speak truth to them. And we shall proceed because we are within our rights to fight for the children of East Africa. The current president of Uganda, Yoweri Museveni, came yesterday, and I really don't want him to lose his vote for Baba. I really want him to vote for Baba. I respect him as my grandfather. I genuinely respect him. When he came to power, actually the number of years he has served in power are more than my years. And therefore, there is a time and a season for everything. The current president of Uganda, Yoweri Museveni, came yesterday, and I really don't want him to lose his vote for Baba. I really want him to vote for Baba. I respect him as my grandfather. I genuinely respect him. When he came to power, actually the number of years he has served in power are more than my years. And therefore, there is a time and a season for everything. I respect him and I recognize him as a revolutionary. But there are those revolutionaries who ended up very badly. Look at Mobutu Sese Seko. came in as a revolutionary, but got drunk with power. Look at Zimbabwe, Robert Mugabe. And therefore, as a grandchild to my grandfather, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, it is my role as a leader to ensure that I work under the doctrine of separation of powers, checks and balances.
That is Babu OWINO. So you clearly see that General Kaguta Museveni is jittered when his opponent gets friends across the country. You clearly see the dictatorship of General Kaguta Museveni. Yet in Kenya, by the way, I keep on telling people that Kenya is the biggest democracy. I don't know how many times I should tell you. When you look at Kenya, during in every election, opposition leaders flock Uganda. I've never had a president of Kenya or Ruto telling Museveni that there are some people who come to your government to an extent of reaching State House. It happened when Uhuru was president. Raila Amolo Odinga used to visit Museveni. Okay, it happened even due to the 2022 general election. Raila Amolo Odinga visited Museveni. Never is there a day that Ruto came out to castigate Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. So the dictatorship mind of General Kaguta Museveni thinks that he can export it to a neighboring country. More so a country which is emerging as the biggest democracy. That's the truth. Because Kenya, there are very many civil liberties. I know it is not, it has not reached where it is, but there are very many civil liberties which you cannot find across East Africa, even in Tanzania. So the dictatorship mentality of General Kaguta Museveni thinks he can export it to other African countries. Okay? But even the way I see things, even Babu OWINO did the right decision, because if he had come out ballistically, maybe you never know what can happen. He may comprise the vote of Raila Amolo Odinga. So even General Museveni coming out to talk like that, it was a message to Raila Amolo Odinga to intervene and talk to Babu OWINO. And I know if Raila Amolo Odinga tells Babu OWINO to stop working with Babu OWINO, maybe he can hear him. Okay? So Bobi Wine's defense is key in the regional politics, but also it is a sign that shows that emerging leader in Kenya, Babu OWINO, has a future. Of course, that's my opinion. Do make comments by commenting about this. Thank you very much for listening in. If this is your first time on this YouTube channel, I implore you to subscribe, like and comment so that I can be motivated to do more of such videos. I'll see you on another one. Peace.